People of YouTube, people of the internet, people of outer space, it is Multiplier here to give you some music industry advice. Now, this may be a little bit controversial, but it's also exciting. Exciting because it's about money and how you can make some money by making music. So the idea is, if I just get comfy on my squeaky chair, the idea is you can make money just by making music if you get into ghost producing, ghost writing tracks, and basically just making songs and then selling them to other people. This is called ghostwriting or ghost production in the music industry, and it's very frowned upon. Frowned upon. Now, I should also definitely point out that there are different levels of ghost production or ghost writing. At one extreme, you're making songs for people and just selling the songs to them that they can then repackage up and market as their own song. And then at the other extreme, you're basically helping someone on a track without getting explicit credit in the track title. So you may even get credit in the official release notes. You're just not plastered about as a featured artist on the actual track title. Ghost production. And so, how do you do it? Step one is make, and there are some important words here. Step one is make lots and lots of commercially viable songs. Sounds simple? I'll say it again. Make lots and lots of commercially viable tunes or songs, tracks, if you will. Lots and lots and lots of commercially viable songs. Two important words there, lots and commercially viable. Say lots, I'll circle back to in a sec, but commercially viable or just commercially, two words there, mash it together, commercially viable, the little hyphen, absolutely fine. Commercially viable, this is important because basically in the world of ghost writing or ghost production, 99.9% of the time you're going to be making very commercial music and selling it to a very popular DJ or celebrity. Celebrity, what you want about Multiplier? I'll circle back to that in a sec. This is an example of an idea called follow the money. It's a concept in the world of business, life, and the universe, which is if you want to earn good money or at least some money in anything at all, you need to follow the money because the people receiving money are the only people who can afford to pay you some money. So if you're working in an obscure genre that doesn't have a lot of money flowing into it, there aren't big nights all the time, there aren't people buying music, there aren't people going to shows, etc., then there isn't going to be anyone the other end who can afford to actually pay you. That's why the guys in finance earn the big bucks, and it's why people in other industries with mad money and ting earn mad money and ting. Business is why the business consultants earn more than any other type of consultant. And fitness supplements, maybe? Probably. Real estate, also. Real estate, there's lots of money in houses and property, so people who get good at that end up earning just mega monies. Whereas if you're really good at yo-yoing, you could be the best yo-yo player in the world and you're not going to be earning a £500,000 a year sort of income. Now, you could potentially, if you were an amazing yo-yo player, earn a comfortable income by being the best yo-yo player in the world and having a whole business on YouTube, and you could be just the yo-yo man. It would be possible genuinely to earn a living being the best yo-yo player in the world. But if you were like the fourth best yo-yo player, you couldn't. And certainly being the best yo-yo player in the world, yo-yo, you still wouldn't be earning that much because there's not much money in that particular sphere. It's a metaphor. Yo-yoing is the obscure little genre that a few people listen to and really love, but not many people listen to. Whereas sort of tropical house and future bass and pop music, that is finance and real estate. Step two. So now you have lots of commercially viable tracks. What you need to do is proactively, it's an important word, that's why I'm saying it lots of times. Proactively reach out to people who might be in the position to purchase such a song. At the one extreme, you might have a sort of popular DJ, and at the other extreme, you have something more interesting. A celebrity. Now, bear with me here. Have you seen how many sort of TV actors and sort of just personalities in the world also do DJing and also charge mega fat fees? And I'm talking 5 figures in many situations, and in some situations 6 figures per set, to basically stand there, be famous, and then just do very simple DJing. But people like it, and that's absolutely fine. Don't get mad at them. Paris Hilton and Usain Bolt and that Game of Thrones guy and that Orange is the New Black girl, they all charge more money than most of the sort of B and C tier DJs to play a set. And they're not even music producers, or well, they are DJs, but they're not DJs in the normal music sense that you might imagine. Now, most of these celebrity DJs don't actually release music currently, but they should do. And that's where you come in, the ghost producer, the ghost writer. What you do is you approach the manager of this celebrity Bob, the manager, professionally, of course, using two other concepts I discussed in previous videos, social proof and the follow-up email, and you pitch them a range of your tracks. And this is where you need lots of tracks, because if you just come to them with one track and you say, here's my track, do you want to buy it? Then they're going to say, no, probably, because music is subjective. So what you need to do is approach them with 3 or 5 or 8 different tracks and have also more backed up as well. And then hopefully they like a few even, or just even one of your tracks. And then you can start to work from there. Now, very, 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 very important. Something that I kind of said implicitly, but not explicitly so far. And that is, you need to have already done the tracks ahead of time. You need to have already done the tracks ahead of time. You need to have already done the tracks ahead of time. It's an important concept that applies to everything in life when you're trying to reach out to people. Do the work ahead of time. Do the work ahead of time. Do the work ahead of time. I'm using repetition as a rhetoric device. Good word, look it up. Steps 3 and 4 are coming, but there's more I need to say. So there's more than just actors and sort of TV people and Usain Bolt that do celebrity DJing. Radio personalities also are effectively celebrity DJs because they're not music producers. So you don't look at them as normal DJs. So reach out to them too. Then what will happen? So ideally, if they like a track or two of yours, a few things can happen. One option is they just like it as it is and they just want it, so they just buy it or offer you some sort of like royalty for it, but effectively buy it off you in the form of royalties. Another option is maybe they like most of it but want a little bit of a tweak. That's absolutely cool. Another option further down the line is maybe they like what you do but want you to work with the artist. I went for inverted quotes there. That's only half appropriate. They might want you to work with the artist on a track, almost like a collaboration without you being listed in the track title. That's absolutely cool. Either way, you need to have done a range of tracks ahead of time to convince them you're good enough to collaborate with. And in fact, a large percentage of the ghost productions, the ghost writing that you hear about going on in the EDM space is actually just collaboration, but not listed in the track title. Yes, there are some examples of the biggest artists in the world simply buying completely finished tracks off a ghost producer, a ghost writer, and then pretending they're theirs. But in lots of situations, you're effectively collaborating with the artist. And that's perfectly cool. If you look at it from the perspective of a celebrity or maybe a radio presenter, a radio DJ, then they may have loads of great ideas for tracks and amazing judgment, probably even better judgment than you, but they don't have the skills to put it all together. So it kind of makes sense that you're there as an engineer, engineering their ideas. And there are also situations of people being hired full-time to effectively ghostwrite or ghost produce for an artist. So that's an option too. Naturally, the option you go for depends on your own personal situation and circumstances, how much you need regular income versus just the odd nice sort of payday. Also, a question that some of you will ask, because I've been asked it a few times before, do I ghostwrite? No, I've been offered a few times, but it's not what I personally like to do. I personally like to do a range of things. I like making videos, I like making songs, I like making tracks, I like working on sound design. So I like the variety, and that's why I do sample packs, I do tutorial courses, I do YouTube videos, I do plugin review videos, I do plugin sort of feature videos, I do Skype consults, I do all sorts of bits and bobs. And I like the bits and the bobs and the range of things in the world of music. Whereas if I made songs all day, or if I made even presets all day, or even if I made just tutorial videos all day, that would drive me crazy. And therefore, I don't do ghost production, I don't do ghost writing, only bits of mixing and mastering here and there. Do I know people who do it? Yes, I do. Lots of people, but of course I can't tell you because it's all written into contracts and stuff. So yes, I know people that do ghost production and ghost writing across the entire spectrum of ghost production, from the selling a complete product right through to being on a full-time sort of engineering sort of position for an artist, making songs in a ghost sort of way, full-time. What else? Knowledge. What more knowledge do I have? Noise my brain makes when it thinks. It's a job. And let me expand on that thought. So it's a job. Therefore, it's not your job to creatively express yourself as an artist. It's your job to make a very commercially viable, a commercially acceptable sort of product for a client. So you need to make sure that, first of all, you're not getting too sort of artistic about things. You're just making very efficient standard dance music. So don't get too creative. Don't get too creative. Also, you need to work efficiently. This is something I learned when I very first started getting into sample packs like 4 or 5 years ago. If you spend 60 hours on something that you could have spent 20 hours on, and you only gained like 2% by spending an extra 40 hours, that's a bad use of your time. So you must make music and you must do your work, it's a job, efficiently. More knowledge, more knowledge, more knowledge. Question you will ask, probably, almost certainly, how good does your music need to be to do ghostwriting and ghost production and actually sell the product? Very good is the answer. I mean, that should be pretty obvious. Your music needs to be very good to sell it, because you're effectively making music on par with the best music in the world, maybe just one step down. So you're not necessarily making the best music of all time that will stand the test of time for 20 years and be alongside Skrillex and Knife Party, but it does need to be professional sounding of the very highest level. So normally this music isn't the most creative necessarily. It's just very standard, very generic. There's not a problem with that. It's just a different sort of thing. But the engineering sort of side of things, the sound design and the packaging and just the overall track as a product, the overall everything, so like songwriting, arrangement, sound design, just the whole songwriting has to be top level, pretty much. And that's it. That is it. Some thoughts and ideas about making money from your music, actually making music for your income. Because let me dispel a myth here as a bit of a bonus idea, a bit of a bonus thought of the day. People who you see DJing the world, sort of traveling around, DJing, fist bumping, standing on tables, etc., when they're DJing, and just sort of being like a professional music artist, touring DJ person. In my eyes, they're not really music producers full time. What they are is full-time DJs, full-time brands and personalities who then use music production to sort of make people come to their shows because they like the songs. You just have to look at the amount of their days they spend making music versus touring and traveling around to understand that. So it's all about mindset. It's almost like how Kiss, you know, the band Kiss, sort of the man with the face paint and the mad groupies and stuff, and the tongue sort of long, and he was like, "Oh, I'm in Kiss the band." Forgotten his name. Kiss don't actually make their money from music, and they don't even make their money from shows. They're actually a merchandising company. Brain exploded. What are you on about, Multiplier? Obviously, Kiss are a band. No, they're not. Kiss are a sort of thing that make music, and then they also tour around and stuff, but really, they make almost all their money from merchandising, from doing little, or at least they used to. I've no idea what they're doing now, but they were merchandising. That's where they made most of their money. More brain explosions, more brain explosions. Can I throw another brain explosion? Oh yes, because I've got cars on the brain, naturally. Most sort of car companies are actually finance companies. Look it up. And it's it, that's it. The video's complete. Multiplier has delivered a video about ghostwriting, ghost production, how to get into it, and effectively how you can make money from actually making music. As crazy as that sounds in the music industry, as you've probably gathered from the last minute, pretty much nobody actually makes money making music anymore. Also, actually, I forgot to mention another bonus idea that I think I haven't said yet, so I'm going to say it now. Right, if you sort of start doing ghost production and ghost writing, and you ever have any tricky sort of situations you don't quite know how to deal with, maybe someone's offering you an amount of money for a track or a sort of royalty split or something that you're not really sure about, or you can't read a contract properly, send it over to me. Send me an email at multiplier.audio. No, that wrong. I said my email wrong. I said it. I never do. That's really weird. Right. So my email address, I mean, it's kind of in the description anyway, but yes, my email address is multiplier, or sort of because of cameras, multiplier@multipliermusic.com. Just send me an email. That's the easiest way to contact me. And final point is in the last video, I completely forgot to finish off with a flippity flip because I was just so mad at my mouse that I just completely forgot. And then I also got distracted doing some other sort of light show with the mouse. And anyway, I got distracted. It's unacceptable though. I didn't finish off the last video with the flippity flip. I just forgot, and that's bad. I apologize for that. So I've been Multiplier, and I will catch you guys on the flippity flip. That's quite aggressive. Maybe I should tone it down a bit. Flippity flippity. Much nicer.